Greetings again, and thank you for taking the time to watch this little short video. Now, I just wanted to tell you today about I was out this morning earlier riding my bike, and I started to think about, as I do every day, the 8 rules that I have in my life. Now, these 8 rules I wrote about in my book, Look Within, Change Your Thinking, and it's rule number 4 that really struck me today. And rule number 4 is this, and I hope you'll write it down and think about it. Rule number 4: the unscheduled events in our lives are a form of spiritual direction. The unscheduled events in our lives are a form of spiritual direction. Now remember, you may remember this thing that I had up in my last video where we compare nature, leaf. To have a healthy leaf and a healthy stem, we work on the root. We nurture the root. All our work goes into fixing the root, keeping the root healthy. Healthy root equals healthy stem, healthy leaf or flower. Mother Nature. Then down here, the human being. We work on the soul. This is what this rule number 4 is about. The unscheduled events of our lives are a form of spiritual soul direction. This is working on the spiritual side of us. Strong soul and spirit, strong body, healthy mind. The unscheduled events of our lives are a form of spiritual direction. Now, for me, there is no greater unscheduled event going on in the world at the moment than the pandemic, COVID-19. The pandemic is a sign from that higher power, from God, from your spiritual side, that is saying we have to change direction. We are out of control. Humanity is out of control. Humanity has lost the plot. Humanity is lost. Humanity is living in fear. Why? Because people don't work on this. They don't work on their spiritual side. They want the world to change, but they don't want to change themselves. We have to develop our spiritual side. We have to work collectively, all of humanity. It reminds me of Mother Teresa, that wonderful little nun who spent her whole life working on the back streets of India, looking after the poor. And she said back in the mid-1990s that the problem with humanity back then was that it was spiritually deprived. Now, if Mother Teresa was alive today, in 2020, she could be forgiven for thinking the problem with humanity today is that it is spiritually bankrupt. Spirituality is missing in humanity. And it's your responsibility and my responsibility to work on that as individuals and collectively. It's not about religion, it is about our spirit being connected with that higher power. Call it God, call it spirit, call it sort, whatever you want. There is something bigger than all of us. And COVID-19 is that classic unscheduled event that is a form of spiritual direction. We have to change direction. We have to be more inclusive. We have to be more compassionate. Each of us as individuals have to do that. It's not someone else's responsibility. We are all in this together. We are all one big family, the family of humanity. If we don't change direction, if we don't change how we think as humanity, then there'll be another coronavirus or a pandemic or whatever you want to call it. But it won't wait 100 years. It could be next year. It could be 2021 or 2022. Nobody knows. And sadly, our world leadership, everybody, are talking about everything but our spirituality. They're too scared to talk about that. They'll say, oh, that's a private matter. But we need leadership. We need leadership on this. We need leadership to tell the world, to tell humanity, we have to change direction. We have to be more inclusive. Think about that. I had this picture up once before on an earlier video. That is something that should drive home to us why we need to be more inclusive. Humanity can't keep doing this, can't keep destroying people's lives like that. It is all our responsibility, individually, personally, and collectively. Think about it. The unscheduled events of our lives are a form of spiritual direction. Now all I'm asking you to do, please, is just think about it. Give me a thumbs up if you like this little video. Don't be afraid. Fear is a paralyzer. Don't be fearful, but think. That's the number one thing that humanity has to do. Start to think. Start to think about what's going on. The unscheduled events in our lives happen for a reason. Humanity somehow seems to think that it's smarter than Mother Nature or this bigger force that's out there. We're not. Bushfires, floods, typhoons, cyclones, all these things are small signals to us to change. You've got to change. We haven't been listening. We haven't been changing. So, bang, we get hit with a pandemic. Now, understand the skeptics will laugh at that and say it's all rubbish. That's fine. Keep on suffering. Keep on suffering. Personally, I'm happy in here, inside, my inner soul. I work on my soul. I work on my spirit. I work on that connection with the higher power. And it's up to each individual to do that. Anyway, that's it. Just a short video. Hope you enjoyed it. Give me the thumbs up if you did, or give me some feedback, whatever. And as a good friend of mine would always say, happy days and naughty nights. All the best. Bye bye.